sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. So, how many of you have ever held an acoustic guitar? What about played it? All right. Well, I'm sure most of you have a favorite song that's played on the acoustic guitar, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the acoustic guitar. There are three key aspects that I'm going to expand upon today. The history of the acoustic guitar, the different parts of the acoustic guitar, as well as how the sound is produced. I actually began learning how to play this instrument about a year ago. I learned from a music therapist, actually, whose key aspect of her therapy is the acoustic guitar. And I've learned so much more through preparing for this speech. It's amazing. So some of the history of the acoustic guitar. It's a long and immense one. According to Total Guitar Tutor, a book by Terry Burroughs, it's actually quite unclear when the guitar was originally created. The oldest guitar found was found in an Egyptian tomb. According to acousticguitars.us, one of their articles states that the guitar's primitive origins are actually found in the ancient Near East. So many of the guitar's origins are still unknown and quite mysterious. With the hardware being slightly different and constantly changing based on the region as well as the time in history, the closest resemblance to the acoustic guitar of today is that of the classical era or the classical tradition, which Burroughs states began in the early to mid-19th century in Spain. So what are the different aspects of the acoustic guitar that we know of today? Well, Dawson's Company.uk names 7 parts of the acoustic guitar. There is the headstock, the tuning pegs, the fingering board or fretboard, the frets, which are these little bars here, the neck, the body, and the waist. The waist is simply what sits on your leg when you're sitting down, and the headstock is where the tuning pegs are found. So the tuning pegs are what allow you to tune each individual string when you simply twist it. It shortens or lengthens the string based on where it's at and what pitch is supposed to be played. The fingering board or the fretboard is on the neck, and that's where the different chords are created by holding down the specific string in the different fret sections. So for an A chord, you hold down strings 2, 3, and 4 in the second fret. That's an A. So by doing this, it enables the strings to be shortened. Shortening it or lengthening the strings is what gives it its corresponding half note or pitch. The body enables the sound created by the strings to be louder, which leads us into the next point. How is the sound produced? According to physicsclassroom.com, the guitar strings create sound waves. A sound wave is the vibration of particles in the air surrounding the source of the vibration. The larger the surface, the louder the sound is, typically. This isn't always true, but in this case it is. When the guitar string is strummed or picked, the string vibrates, as you can see there. Therefore, vibrating the particles in the air around it. Because the string itself is rather small, the sound it produces on its own isn't very loud. The body of the guitar is shaped and placed in a way that allows the sound to be compressed in an area which is inside the body, making the sound able to be amplified. Different guitars produce slightly different sounds based on the type of material used for the body as well as the type of strings being strummed. In a classical guitar, you typically find a plastic-based string, whereas in a non-classical guitar, you typically find the steel strings. Mine is a parlor-sized guitar, which simply means it's smaller than a regular guitar, allowing the sound to be softer and not quite as loud. And I also use steel strings. They're harder on the fingers, but I prefer the sound that they create. So in conclusion, the guitar is a widely used instrument with a rich history and simple yet very complex musical sound production. Now you know some of the history of the guitar, some of the names of the different parts of the guitar, as well as how the sound is produced. I hope you take this information with you and it allows you to have a much deeper and richer appreciation for the acoustic